I'm so excited. I'm clicking the same buttons multiple times. What's going on, everyone? The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. They beat the pants off the Commanders, the Commandants, the Commies, whatever you want to call them. They won 55-23 at the Link. What a game, guys. My heart's racing. How are you guys feeling right now? I mean, did you know this was – did you feel it was going to be this type of game? I mean, Mike, you were talking beforehand. You were chatting on the pregame show. You had a highest score for the Eagles. You felt like they were going to smack the Commanders around, but you didn't see this coming at all.
Nah, like I just said to you guys, babe, before we went live, I had no expectations of them dropping a 55 piece on them. But, be careful what you wish for. Our boy Matty B, I love him to death, but, Jalen Hurts had quite a good game today. Throwing the football, had quite a good game.
All the haters. If you're a Hurts hater, if you're a Nick Sirianni hater, if you're a whatever hater, if you hate the Eagles, if you hate the NFC East, if you hate life, you're just put to shame today, Mike. Everybody, if you're a man, and I've seen some people already that I follow on social media who are not fans of certain people, players, and teams who are putting their tail between their legs and taking their L and swallowing it like they should.
Yeah, Hurts had a great game. He really did. And again, the best thing about it is he got away from what they've been doing. He's been kind of under 25 attempts, around the 20 to 25 attempt. He kind of went a little over that today, but his yardage was there. A.J. Brown got involved. And let's give our boy Will Shipley some love, huh? How about that, kid?
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't be happier for a guy like Will Shipley.
Just running out of gas there at the end.
Nolan Smith? How about the bust known as Nolan Smith? Let's talk about him for a second. Big time sack, sealed the deal. That game, the old proverbial nail in the coffin, Sal. Nail in the coffin right there. Brought to you by Nolan Smith. Quintana Bay gets a pick in the game. We said it before. Yeah, he was playing with himself literally on the field, and he won it all. Like he listen. If you're not excited, you're either not an Eagles fan or you need to check your pulse. One of two things going on right now.
I'll tell you what, man. This was a bigger dominating performance than the game against San Fran a couple years ago. I mean, the Eagles literally. Did you guys feel at any time in this game that Washington was going to pull away? Because I didn't. Even when they were only down by 2 points going into the second quarter, I was like, the Birds got this. The way this team is, I'm sorry, I don't care who wins this game tonight. Whoever wins this game tonight for the AFC, they're going to have their hands full in 2 weeks in New Orleans.
Yeah, no, we were talking about that off air, me and Sal, like right before you came on. When it got a little tighter, I'm like, okay, some bad tackling occurred, especially in the beginning of the game. Some really missed tackles, things like that. But ultimately, I can say that I did not really feel. I got nervous, but I did not really feel that this game was ever out of reach for the Eagles. I mean, like you said, the closest they got was 2 points outside when it was a 0-0 game. So how can you not be happy with that?
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but did you guys feel – I felt like when Washington only came away with 3 points after that opening drive, I was like, they're done. Like, the Eagles literally took their best shot in that opening drive. And I'm sorry if you hear a little background noise or whatever. McDade Boulevard's getting nuts. They're driving down honking horns. So it's crazy down here.
No, it's all good.
Mike Laro out on the town of Delco, figuring it out right now. People are losing their minds as well. They should be.
No, Mike Al, when I was watching that game, you could say that first drive, Mike, it was an 18-play drive for the Commanders. So pregame show, me, Al, and Maddie were talking about, what are the Eagles going to do to contain Jaden Daniels? And one of the things we were saying was, wear Jaden Daniels out, and you're going to go 18 play drives and only give up 3 points. I'll do that all game. So let's go. Let's wear him out. And we did that.
I mean, listen, what was one of the knocks on the listen? The Eagles put a lot of doubters, to bed tonight. One of the things where the Eagles can't score in the beginning of the game. They're too slow to start. They're not going to be able to keep up with that in the playoffs. 14 points. I'll take 14 points in the first quarter any day of the week. I mean, they did the job right. They came out, they scored again to end the second, and got the ball back. I was like, if they got a touchdown, in that, and when they got into the third quarter, they could have cruised. They could have definitely just went on cruise control.
I'll tell you, the one thing that I felt, one guy I think that was an unsung hero today was Oren Burks. That guy played his tail off today. He was everywhere. He had a forced fumble. Our linebackers, and I know we're not used to saying this as Eagle fans, but we really do got a set of linebackers here, man. They really, truly do.
And we haven't been able to say that in a long time.
I thought the Eagles were going to be in trouble. Kobe Dean being out. I mean, he had 120-plus tackles during the season, but Oren Burks stepped in today. Like you say, Mike, forced fumble. Also had a big sack in the game. I believe it was on a third down. So he played his ass off. I mean, cliche, complete team effort.
May we not forget the big men. Okay, because we got to talk about this for a second. Yes, I'm part and parcel to the linemen, but Dickerson hurt his knee. He kept playing. And then Cam Jurgens came out and played the second half.
Yeah.
These guys
Dickerson couldn't go anymore, right?
These guys are Ironmen. Like they just, they are Iron Men. They have and on top of it, you want to know why Cam Jurgens hurt so much? His back was killing him, and he had Frankie Louvu, swanton bombing on the back of him 3 or 4 times to the point that did you even know that there's a thing that they could award them the touchdown?
Never heard that in my life.
That.
Never heard
it.
You could be awarded the touchdown if you keep encroaching and trying to deny the other team from getting in the end zone. You can be awarded the touchdown. So I guess there's no way you could stop the tush push.
I mean, there was so many twists and turns to this game. I mean, if you think about it, the Eagles were the best players on the field, even the ex-Eagles. I mean, some of the big stuff came. Zach Ertz, what's his name? Zacchaeus.
Okay, yeah, we had
he had some big moments in there too for when Washington did well. But outside of Terry McLaurin's big run, they contained him. I mean, they did a great job of containing him. That was some bad tackling, and it was a whiff, and they got to take that. They were also kind of getting a little ahead, and I guess they were kind of playing a little more preventive. I wouldn't say it was prevent defense, but close to what it would have been. Allowed Terry McLaurin to get it. They made a mistake and they buckled down. We talked about this pregame, Sal. We talked about this with Matty B. Everybody, when Matty B still has his show tonight, please jump on and ruin that man's night, please. His favorite Jaden Daniels isn't playing in the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, Matty. You're gonna have to hang up your Jaden Daniels jersey for the night, for the rest of the season. Listen. And
who you repping? Is that AJ? Is that an AJ jersey?
Dude, I wore this knowing I knew this was coming. Thank you, Mike, by the way.
Nice.
But my point is, they have anybody who's come in front of them, they've beaten. I mean, last week, snow game, they were kind of letting them get ahead of themselves. Jalen got hurt. Conditions were what they were. But like I said, anybody who has any hate right now for this team, you're just jealous. You're just jealous, or you hate. You're
just a hater.
You're just not an Eagles fan,
right?
And you don't like them, like a Giants fan, dude. I'm trying to find. I'm getting the address. I'm literally sending the Giants a fruit basket this week. I'm gonna find out an address, and I'm gonna send them a fruit basket because I'm not even just joking. This is not a joke. This is not me just trying to get a laugh at everybody. I'm literally gonna find out what address I can send it to, and I'm sending a fruit basket.
Yeah, I didn't know when Superman in his off time played running back in the NFL.
Yeah.
But
that Fortress of Solitude ain't gonna pay for itself there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
you know,
it was funny that they had the commercial for it during the for the new movie coming out in July. But I mean, can we like real quick? I feel like I'm over talking, but I'm like a kid right now on Christmas morning.
Go for it, man.
I mean, let's just talk about that for a second. Rushing right now.
Mm.
There's actually 6 guys with rushing stats today, believe it or not. So Saquon Barkley, by far, of course, number one, just number one, but 15 attempts for 118 yards. He has over 400 yards in the playoffs. I think last week he set the record, the single game playoff postseason record. So 15 attempts, 118 yards. That's 7.9 yards a carry. It'll win you every time. This is where I'll eat my crow. I said the way the world's going, it's just paying a running back will never work out, no matter how good the running back is. But give the Eagles their credit, give Howie's credit. They sat there and they watched. Look at last year we had Swift. And Swift did really good, and Swift is good, but he's no Saquon Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they figured like we have one of the greatest line. If we put a great running back, what can we do with that? And it took them a little bit. Took them to the fifth week to take a break and figure it out. But also Will Shipley, like we said, he had more yards per carry or average, but 4 attempts for 77 yards. That's 19.3 yards. He had a touchdown. That's there was 7 rushing touchdowns, and it isn't apropos that they had 7 touchdowns with Nick Foles in the house, who set that record and he's in Canton because of his 7 touchdowns. Just saying.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's that McDade Boulevard going nuts. So we got.
Hold on, I'm gonna show you guys. Look at this.
There you go. I hear police sirens. That sounds about right. There we go.
Foles and Delco.
So, Barkley with 7 rushing touchdowns in this game. They were at a record for the most in the NFC Championship game with 5. So they're like, let's tack on another 2. We already have 5. We might as well add on 2 more, make it 7. You talk about Barkley, man. The first drive for the Eagles, the first play, he just casually rips off a 60-yard touchdown run like he's been doing all season. He's still at Penn. Mike, he was like this when he was at Penn State. I know you're a big Penn State guy. He's still got the wheels. It's unreal.
He's been like that really his whole career, college, pro. I mean, Saquon Barkley, what was the one thing that you got told about him? He's a home run hitter. And listen, I'm going to tell you this now. Like, you saw the look on Washington's face after that first play. I knew they were in trouble. I literally said, I was like, they're done. I was like, they got no answer for him. Them missing Daron Payne, and I commented this on your guys' pregame show. Them losing Daron Payne for this game, the Washington Commanders, really, really hurt because if you take notice, he was able to get in behind where Payne was. Now, Allen made some good plays for them. He stuffed Barkley a couple times, but I'll tell you what, they kind of got Frankie Louvu running around all over the place. He had a good game. He had a good game for Washington. He had a lot of pressures. But I felt like Barkley, if anything, his blitz pickup today really, really helped the Eagles.
They showed some highlights there where he stepped in. Yeah.
My God. Dude, he blasted.
Smashing them and going toe-to-toe with Louvu. I think he took Louvu on a couple plays, too.
Yeah. I mean, on that big 4th down, when they threw it to A.J. Brown, you watch that play. Barkley eats up Frankie Louvu coming in the hole. He just hits him, and Louvu doesn't go nowhere.
That was the Hurts
touchdown. Ball. No. I'm talking about A.J. Brown. That 4th down. That 4th down.
The Hurts' last running, his last touchdown where he ran in the ball, Louvu ran into Barkley like you or I running into a wall. Like, there was no gift. No gift whatsoever.
And I'll tell you what, it really says something. Al, you brought up the big guys. It really says something about Jeff Stoutland. For him to go in, I think Steen played a pretty darn clean game. He did get called for a penalty, but I thought he was really good today. He really was. Like, he didn't get beat. He didn't get beat. And I'll tell you what, when they went to that 6-line package, man, with Fred Johnson, they just mauled people. Like,
I mean,
I'm
come on.
sorry,
You
they
added
jumped
another
marble.
300 plus pounds to a line that averaged 350. You know what I mean? Like it's scary. Like I think Landon Dick or no, where Steen was the smallest one on the line by like at 325 or something like that, 330. So it's you adding Fred Johnson to it, you just might as well. All right, guys, everybody drop back. Yeah, this is a good point right here, Sal. Forget the Cowboys, Commanders, Eagles. Yeah, probably because here's the thing is, and I know this doesn't mean anything, but it does. I mean, the coaching, I guess the Dallas made some decisions coaching wise, promoting Schottenheimer. They brought in the Chicago coach as the defensive coordinator, which hey, that might work. I mean, we see it all the time. I mean, look at the Commanders, right? You know, their offensive coach didn't do really well in Arizona as a head coach, but is a very good offensive coordinator. I'm happy, I guess, that we can sit here and say that the Eagles look like they're going to be holding on to Kellen Moore. We knew Vic Fangio most likely wasn't going anywhere at this point. That's a good thing. I mean, that's only could be a good thing for us. I love or hate Kellen Moore. I don't think anybody's in love, but I also don't think anybody is. I mean, you see this team all around. Now, granted, was it the addition of Saquon Barkley that makes Kellen Moore better? But
yes,
now a whole other season, a whole offseason, a whole other season, some new pieces coming in. I mean, it's only going to be a positive for this team going forward.
Yeah, I believe so. And I'll tell you what, that's the right comment right there. It's not the Cowboys anymore. It's going to be the Commanders because the Commanders are going to be a team that we're going to have to deal with probably for the next decade in this division. I'm not sold on Brian Schottenheimer. Cowboys fans are not sold on Brian Schottenheimer.
Michael Irvin ripped them apart.
And I'll tell you what, I can actually see Dallas actually falling like last place because I think the Giants are going to get better too. So, again, this division's going to be – the Giants got a good defense. Giants have a good defense. They need a quarterback.
On defense. They have some good defense on the edge, on the front line, but they're severely lacking in the secondary. Linebacker core is mediocre at best. Honestly, no. I think you're right in the fact that the Commanders are taking some leaps forward. Jaden Daniels looks like he could be the next big thing in the NFL. I mean, this game doesn't mean anything bad about Jaden Daniels. It's just, he's a rookie. But give people their flowers where flowers are due. The Washington really just, shook the ground. Went in and beat the number one Detroit Lions in Detroit. Beat the Bucks. Really turned it on. This team actually looked like they were kind of going to stay mediocre at best. They may not even make the playoffs at one point this season, but really turned it around, especially last bit. So they're going to be a good team moving forward.
Oh yeah, Jaden Daniels. This is Jaden Daniels' rookie season, by the way.
Yeah, and don't forget they only have a scary Terry. Like, what happens if they go and they either draft or bring in another player, another wide receiver? Yeah. He has another choice. Maybe a better back than Robinson. If they or just how about this? Add additional pieces to your offensive line. If one guy goes down, your whole offensive line isn't that great anymore. If
let's not give offensive line. Let's not give him any tips.
Listen, come on, it's out there. Maybe they'll hire me. But I mean, my point is that, yes, they're moving in the right direction. Dallas is moving backwards, and Giants is like stuck in the mud, man. They're just their wheels are turning, but no friction's being had. No momentum is moving forward. So I think this is a very on point comment from you, Sal.
Yeah.
Forget the Cowboys. Cowboy. Because even think about it. Go back to Cowboys week this season. How pumped do we get, no matter how good or bad our team is, for a Cowboys week?
Yeah.
I could care less.
No.
I think I had the same amount of juice for the Jags. I had the same amount of juice for the Panthers game as I did for the Eagles. Yes.
Was that a chicken, Mike? What was that?
That was a chicken.
No, that was a chick riding down McDade Boulevard topless.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's about right. Sounds
Delco's finest here, guys. I'm sorry.
No. I'm so talking about the rivalry because there was chippiness in this game, and I love to see it. I was fired up when you had A.J. Brown in the face of Marshawn Lattimore, and Lattimore got called for that penalty. You had who was it? It was a player the defender on the Washington that knocked Barkley out of bounds when he was already out and just threw him to the ground. Got unsportsmanlike, and that allowed us to continue our drive. It was just a lot to see. The stuff with Lovu at the goal line, just him keep jumping over. I was like, this is crazy. And like you said, it was a WWE match. I was expecting the tables, ladders, and chairs to come out next, guys.
Yeah, I was waiting for Luvu to do a sunset flip over Cam Jordan and roll him up for a free count.
Why do you think his back hurts? That tush push. That team doesn't care about any. They don't like doing it. The Eagles don't like doing it. The players, don't like doing it.
And he can squat 600.
But it's effective and it works for them, and I'm sure it beats them up. I mean, hence why do you think our center's back was spasming and hurting going into this game? On top of it, now he has to go back in the game, and you got Frankie Luvu jumping on 2-3 times on top of it before they even get the ball in. So, I mean, that all plays a factor.
Hey, guys, you're tuning in to the Birds Flyby here on It's a Wrap Network. Give us a like. Where's my hands? It's there somewhere. Like, share, subscribe. The banner at the bottom. We're on every social media platform. You can find us. Just search. You'll see us there. But do all that stuff. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. Tell all your friends. Tell all your enemies. Tell the haters. We want everybody on here.
Haters will love Matty B.
Haters will love Matty B. That's right.
Yeah, wait a minute. Hold on. Where's my excuse emporium? That's what I.
Oh yeah, we got to pull that up here. Yeah.
Here it is.
Get the excuse emporium from us.
Hey guys, by the way,
for
those who need to know, the Excuse Emporium's running a great special right now because we're fresh out of excuses. There is no excuse. The only excuse I have is stay out of my way. Maybe it's advice. Maybe not an excuse.
Hey Al, while this game was going on, I had a Mr. T flashback from Rocky III, where he says, "What are you bringing to this fight? Pain." That's right. What the Eagles dished out, man. Like I said earlier, the way that coach came out and talked earlier this week about how they were going to hit Jalen Hurts.
That was Quinn, right? Or the defensive
No, it wasn't Quinn. It was Witt, the defensive coordinator.
Okay.
To me, I turned around. I'm like, well, if he's running past the line of scrimmage, you should hit him like a running back. To me, it sounded like they were almost scared. And, I will say this. Terry McLaurin got shut down twice here in Philadelphia, going against Quinyon Mitchell. Okay, that big touchdown run wasn't against Mitchell. That was against Slay. Okay. But he had one catch the first meeting. He had one catch against Mitchell this game.
And there could be a cool new rivalry. Two younger guys. I mean, I know McLaurin's been in the league for a little while, but not too long. And with Quinyon being a rookie, that could be a new part of that rivalry right there. You know what I mean?
Bobby Taylor, Michael Irvin 2.0. Let's make it happen. Come on now.
Yeah.
Do it. But the one thing that I kind of was bringing up, Dallas Goedert to me today played a much bigger role in this game than he did the previous two against the Commanders. I felt like they utilized him a lot more. Hell, I think he got a couple carries in this game too at one point in time.
Yeah, they ran 2 jet sweeps with Dallas Goedert, which made 0 sense. But hey, maybe they went for strength instead of speed in this case for a jet sweep. But I mean, here's the thing: is I was kind of saying this to somebody during the game. I was like, I wonder if Dallas is hearing all the noise about him, because I mean, everybody's been talking about Dallas all year long about his ability to stay healthy, be on the availability, things like that, and then his use in the game was very kind of wishy-washy certain games. But ever since that playoff game, ever since that wild card game, when he just stiff armed the hell out of somebody,
Mike dropped.
It looks like he popped off. The mic dropped.
The mic drop. There you go.
There's his name of a show for him. The mic drop. But it's hard to say. Hey, Mike. By the way, when you popped off there, we came up with a new name for you. The mic. If your first show for you, the mic drop.
Yeah, there you
There you
go.
go.
That's your finisher, bro.
Yeah,
There
the
you go.
mic. But no, but like listen, man. As we all homers, we're all the homers we are.
Sure. I'm rocking that
Um,
NFC Championship hat here.
Yep. Actually, I just sent my sister to what's it called? Which
Rally House.
Knicks?
Rally House. Yeah,
Okay.
Rally House up on the Pike. I said,
the gear.
if you're going there, check and see how many hats you can buy me. I got my NFC East hat. Now I'm gonna get my championship hat. Add it to the collection. But I mean, like, listen, homer not, homer this, homer that. You should be excited. You should be excited. Yes, and you know what? That was another thing that we didn't even really touch on. The part of it. There's so many little stories with inside the stories. But Michael, what's up, Michael P? By the way,
Michael P. It's been a while, brother.
Hey Josh, F you. Yeah, Josh Harris, man, going out there, walking around, screwing up the other team across the street from us, coming out here, good for him. Good for him to watch that.
He also
this
owns
is how
the
a team
Devils,
wins.
Yeah,
well, he is the devil. It's on your birthday too, Mike. Well, happy, early birthday, and hopefully we're celebrating Mikey P's birthday, and we're celebrating a Super Bowl victory. I mean, let's take that into consideration. And I wonder, talk about people giving people flowers. Jamie, what's going on, kiddo? People in Philly are climbing poles on Broad Street.
Al was climbing poles earlier with the
yeah, I had the Jergens out.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, and Mike's like, Mikey P said, I'm a homer and proud of it. I will, 56 years old.
Nice,
God bless you, man. But like, I have to ask you a question, and I know he's not here, but maybe he'll answer it on his show. I'm sure he's listening. I'm sure he's out there listening, but maybe he'll answer it on his show.
The drop in.
Does the flowers have to be given to Howie Roseman now?
Because I can't give him flowers.
I listen. Hold on. I was on that train many years ago, right before they got Devonta Smith. I really just his drafting was horrible. Even the guys he was bringing in were either past their prime or he was paying. It wasn't working out great for them. But I said once they got Devonta Smith, I'm like, okay, well, he's starting to do what he's supposed to do. Go get the best player available, and he did that. But so far, listen, he surprised me with Saquon Barkley. I don't think many people thought he was going to pay the Saquon Barkley money to get him here, right?
Oh.
So
I didn't see that happening.
So now I know you were talking about Nick Sirianni giving flowers if you're not a Nick Sirianni fan, but Howie Roseman, now you have a team, and Matty B said himself in the last, 8 years, 7 years, whatever it's been since we were in the Super Bowl last, that'll be 3 Super Bowl appearances in that time frame. 2 in the last 2 years. Okay. So if they win this, does Matty B have to give Howie Roseman some flowers?
Yeah, he's got to give him a bouquet.
Yeah.
Like,
the same bouquet I'm sending to the Meadowlands this week to thank the Giants ownership for being such a kind-hearted organization with their charitable donation of the greatest running back in the history of the history.
Now, you know what I'm gonna love, Al? I'm gonna love it in 2 weeks when they're at the Superdome, and the Giants brass got to watch Saquon run for 200 yards against either Buffalo or Kansas City, because I'm gonna be honest with you, they are going to have their way running the ball against those teams. Spagnuolo likes to blitz, and what's the one way you beat a blitz? You run at them, and I'll tell you what. And I don't believe in the Bills' defense either. I think the Bills' defense is the biggest fraud.
Defense does. I mean, listen, they won some games because by 45 points, but barely won them. You know what I mean? Like they scored points. I told you, they remind me of the old New Orleans Saints. The what's his face? The quarterback. Why can't Drew?
Drew Brees.
Bledsoe.
Drew Brees. I don't know why I blank on his name. That's the way they did it. That Saints team, that's the way they did it. They just bludgeoned you to death. But their defense was questionable. They were scoring 40, but letting up 35. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they would do. But I see a lot of the same thing with the Bills in this situation. The Bills do the same thing. They score a lot of points. They have a Jalen Hurts-like quarterback, a guy with strong legs who can run, who can put. But they have to go up against Jalen Carter. Are you going to see? You're going to see Josh Allen again running that ball in against him, or again. Let's give some more flowers. There's some unsung guys that are playing. Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis was a beast today. I felt like he almost wasn't on the team at one point. You said Burks. He stepped in for a guy who's having a career year, and
Zach
feel like
Bond.
there's no Zach Bond. I mean, we all know about. By the way, Mike Laro. All I'm going to say is I need a Zach Bond jersey. So if you know a guy,
yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
Now, they have to sign him, right? They have to sign him because Dean's not going to be available coming the next year. He's not going to be early on anyway. So you got to sign Bond, right? That's got to be priority number one for this team right now after in the offseason.
I think they'll sign him. I think they will sign him.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to command as much money as some people think. I don't think it's going to be a 4-year, $20 million a year contract or anything crazy like that. It might be like a 3-year, $12 million a year, and I'd be okay with that. The way this guy led this defense, the way he was in every play. I mean, even when he made a mistake like during the year, he made up for it a play or two later. He was stripping a ball. He was sacking the quarterback. Like, we have not had like. Tell me you don't feel like that 2000s early Eagles defense with them, that very physical Eagles defense. I mean, we had that this whole year. Like, people talked about coming in here in LA. He's like, oh, we're going to out physical the Eagles. No, you're not.
The Eagles became the bullies this year. They became the bullies, and I'll tell you what. All you have to do is just take a look down, all the all pros. I mean, you got Carter, that's an all pro. We have Vaughn or Baum. He's an all pro. And then you look around, you got Quinyon Mitchell, who's going to be up for Rookie of the Year. That's 3 right there. And
so does Cooper.
Yeah,
he's also.
And I'll tell you what. You know who else is really an unsung hero? Is Milton Williams. Now, Al, from our days of past of our shows we've been doing, I've been tooting this guy's horn now for the last 3-4 years.
Oh yeah.
This
He's going to be the hardest one to keep. He's going to be the hardest one to keep because they're going to have.
I know.
They're going to have to empty the Brinks truck for him because somebody's going to pay that man.
Yeah, I know, and that's the only thing, man.
But hold on one second. So right quick, Michael Peppernick here. I hope we play the Bills so we can stick it to the Bills and their stinking Bills Mafia fans. All they did last 3 seasons was we had an easy schedule. So I want to give the big FU to the Bills and their fans. By the way, I mean, it's not going to be home, but could you imagine a home? I mean, it would never be in a playoff scenario in a Super Bowl. Unless the Super Bowl's in the Philly at one point for whatever happens. But a Bills-Eagles playoff game, like this, those two fan bases coming together, it would be outlandish, completely outlandish. But I want to go through something here real quick. Looking at the defensive player, just looking at some of the stats right now, like again, unsung heroes. We're kind of talking about. I'm handing out flowers. I'm like the Bachelor here. I'm handing out flowers left and right. Zach Bond, we've talked about it today. 8 tackles, 4 assists. I mean, how much more can you ask for from this guy? Oren Burks, we talked about. Reed Blankenship. Right place, right time Reed. That's what I call him now. Right place, right time Reed. Because he's always in the right place at the right time for him. Cooper DeJean, man. Another one, just like Mitchell. Just these guys look like they've been playing their the last 10 years in the NFL.
Jalen Hunt looks like he's going to be a player. That's another rookie. Howie Roseman.
Yeah, but like everybody talked about Jaden Daniels.
Right.
Like he don't look like a rookie. He don't look like a rookie. These two don't look like a rookie at all. Jalen Hunt, you mentioned. CJ Gardner-Johnson. I mean, listen, every time that guy's on a team, they go far. If you think about it, every time the last few years he's been on the team, that team has gone to an NFC Championship game or further. So he's a nut, but he plays. He plays hard. Jalen Hunt, Nolan Smith, we talked about. Q, we talked about. Even Darius. Like, I guess the fact because these young guys have come in here, it's kind of taken away from him being maybe a little older, a little bit slower. But I mean, Milton Williams, Ajomo. There's another one. Like he's had some plays. that, I mean, even a guy that we were really talking a lot about in the beginning of the season, we haven't talked much about, but has had some big plays as of recently, Josh Sweat. I mean, just like, if I told you at the beginning of the year, if I laid this defense out just before it happened, I'd be like, guys, this is our defense. A bunch of rookies, some guys that'll be number 2s and number 3s and other teams most likely, a bunch of kind of unknowns. Zach Bond, like, you know, he had an okay linebacker career coming in here, and barely okay. You know, you wouldn't be putting money down on them being the best defense in the league. But Vic Fangio, one of the biggest pickups of the offseason. Next to Saquon Barkley. Yeah, next to Saquon Barkley has to be Vic Fangio. And as you said just before, you know, you've been tooting your horn all year long. For years now, I've been saying I'm tired of Vic Fangio light. I was so excited in 2022 when they brought Vic Fangio in as a consultant when they went to the Super Bowl. They hired him for like 2 weeks before the Super Bowl as a consultant. You know, and you know, we've had Vic Fangio light forever. And now we got Vic Fangio, and everybody's like, I don't even know if Vic Fangio can do it. Vic Fangio can do it with look what he's got. Like, I'm not saying our players aren't good. Don't get me wrong.
They are good.
But again, like individually before today, in the beginning of the season, you wouldn't think that.
Look, Vic Fangio brought the best out of this team, all the players. Look at Zach Bond. He was an outside linebacker when we got him from the Saints. You know what Vic says? I'm moving him inside, and now he's an all-pro. I mean, it's unbelievable. That's Vic. That's credit to Vic.
Yeah, Howie just killed the whole draft this year.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, all the way up to the 4th round, who was not involved in games this year. Even Trotter, when he had to come in, has played well. And on special teams, I mean, he had that big turnover in the wild card game. That really kind of was the catalyst to that win. You know,
all right, guys, I'm getting out of here to throw money out on McDade Boulevard. I'll see you guys later. I gotta go pick some up.
They're gotta make that money, right? Look,
I'm about to leave.
Right.
If they're gonna start throwing money, and I ain't gotta take my clothes off. I'm there.
They'll pay me money to put my clothes back on.
Yeah. Even Nooms is saying Matt Patricia and Sean Desai may never work again. You know, they might work as like bench coaches or something. Like, you're not going to see them like as big coordinators. But Matt Patricia, what a joke when they brought him in. So Graham, Johnson, Elliott, and the long snapper Lovato are the only Eagles in history of this team to go to 3 Super Bowls.
Look at that. That's nice knowledge there by you, Pat.
There you go. There you go. You know, Papernick.
Super Bowl knowledge.
Well, I know what, man. 2 weeks, guys. We're all going to be glued to our televisions, getting ready. Because right now, I don't think any Eagle fan cares who the AFC team is coming in. If it's the Chiefs, hey, you're the champs. I think whoever it is, I think in the AFC, they're going to open up as the underdog. There's no way in hell Vegas is going to put the Eagles as an underdog going into this season. Only maybe Kansas City, I guess, because Kansas City doesn't. But I mean, if the Bills get there, there's no way. So I definitely see it.
Right? And I'm not saying that with green colored glasses on, Eagles colored glasses on. I'm saying that because we talk about Matty B talks about Jalen Hurts being a game manager this season. Patrick Mahomes is the ultimate game manager in this season. What has he done this year?
That team should have at least 2 or 3 more losses on their belt.
Right.
I'm not getting conspiracy theories with that one, but listen, even like last week, the Ravens and Buffalo game, if you looked at Jalen Hurts had better stats than he did with a bum knee. I mean,
yeah, Josh Allen is so erratic. Like, I'm tired of hearing about, Jalen Hurts has to be, like Josh Allen. Well, last time I checked, Josh Allen hasn't been to a Super Bowl yet because he can't beat Mahomes. Guess what? Jalen Hurts beat Mahomes. Yes, did he lose to him in the Super Bowl? But he also went to Kansas City and beat him. A lot of people forget that. On a team that that ultimately ended up crashing and burning. But he went to Kansas City on a Monday night and beat Patrick Mahomes and outplayed him again. So I don't want to hear this that Jalen's not elite. Yes, they are a running team. I heard Matty earlier. Well, why did they break down the offense? Because you just signed a $13 million running back who's going to be busting people's butts behind the best offensive line in football.
Yes,
like,
and
who didn't think Saquon was going to have a good year?
The less you throw the ball, the less chances of turning the ball over. It's just a proven fact. It is a proven fact. The less you run the ball, unless you throw the ball, the chances of you turning the ball over. So, yeah, that's what their thought was. Well, if he was having problems turning the ball over. So what did they do? They adjusted, because that's what good teams do. Again, the word elite is kind of something thrown around a little too willy-nilly. Patrick Mahomes is an elite quarterback. I mean, he's on GOAT status right now. If he comes out and if he wins this game and goes to Super Bowl and three-peats, I think he's almost going to surpass
Brady's chasing Brady.
Brady. I mean, and he probably has a better chance of doing it than anybody's going to have in forever. But outside of that, Josh Allen is good. But you think the Bills fans aren't having the same conversations that we're having about Jalen Hurts at times, about being a game manager, a stat patter, things like that? You know, like that might be something they're talking about. You know, it's not so much green colored glasses, but it's the 30,000 foot view at this point. Like, you know, we're not watching Bills games as intently, watching every throw, every move, watching the footwork of it, watching the wide receivers getting open. Josh Allen is a really good quarterback, and if you said, "Al, you got to choose to go to the Super Bowl with Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts," I'm thinking either way. I'm not saying I'm like, oh, Josh Allen, but I'm not saying Jalen Hurts either. Like, right. They're two really good guys who have really good pedigree. But again, what has Josh Allen done? I mean, Jalen Hurts' resume looks a lot better than Josh Allen does right now. And actually, real quick before we move on, is there any truth to this? Nooms brought this up, and I've been hearing this. Brandon Graham may actually be back at 90%. So is there a chance BG plays in the Super Bowl?
I hope he does. Yeah, they said that when he got hurt. They said when he got hurt, if the Eagles make the Super Bowl, there's a good chance he could come back and play.
He said it. Now he's got 2 more weeks now to rest up. I mean, if he wants to play, and maybe this is his last year, maybe he goes, I'm going to play and give it my all. And if I'm not 100%, to hell with it. I just want to be in the Super Bowl and try and win one. And if he wins, he's going out on top, and he'll probably retire, most likely.
Listen, it would be kind of nice if he could be like, you know, a depth piece in a situation, and let him go out there and
depth piece. I know, isn't that crazy? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we need him, but I'll take him.
Yeah. And going back to Hurts before we close out and move on there, Jalen Hurts, the game manager here. You don't need – you want to call him a game manager, that's fine. But when your offense puts up 460 yards total offense, I don't care what Jalen Hurts throws for. And that's what they did today. And he
listen, there's only so many yards can be – I mean, so here's the thing is, if he came out and he threw 300 of those 440, 330 yards of those 440, then that means the wide receivers wouldn't be getting theirs, or the running backs wouldn't be getting theirs, and we wouldn't be touting Saquon. So somebody's going to get it. So who cares? When you have that luxury, that's what it is. That luxury of being, if Washington somehow came in here, like we talked pregame, and figured a way out of shutting down Saquon or limiting Saquon Barkley, which they didn't, by the way, then A.J. Brown would have 8 more. But, I mean, A.J. Brown still had a good day. I mean, it wasn't the best day, but 6 receptions or on 8 targets for 96 yards in that TD. He had a big 31-yard one. Dallas Goedert, 7 for 8, and only dropped a 1, 85 total yards. Devonta Smith was 4 for 4. All right, 45 yards. There's only so many hands in one ball. Like, they can get their hands on it. And again, if the running game is going to do the job, that is the safest bet for any team. I don't care if it's Patrick Mahomes. If you tell me if Saquon Barkley was not on the Kansas City Chiefs right now, that they wouldn't be running that ball less. I mean, running that ball more and throwing the ball less.
They sure would, because they were trying to run it with Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt and have middling success. If they had Barkley, you damn right they'd be running it down everybody, the opponent's throats, every chance they had.
Yeah. To me, the way I'm looking at this Eagles attack today, all three levels really got going. I mean, you just said AJ had what was it 8 catches for 96 yards? That's 100 yards. Six catches. I'm sorry, 6 catches for 100 yards. You have Barkley going over 100 yards. Okay, you had Jalen going over almost 250, I think, passing the ball. So I mean, and here's the thing: the Eagles took their foot off the gas. Literally, they brought Kenny Pickett in the last drive. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like I mean, really, you really can't ask for much more dominating performance from this Eagles team. And I'm sorry, Washington was a hot hand. I didn't think they'd score more than 17. They got to 23. So you got to tip your cap to them. But like I said, after midway, like the beginning stages of the second quarter, I had no fear that the Eagles were going to lose this game. Like none. I was like, okay, here it comes. And they just went out and they just bully balled them up and down the field. And the Eagles won the line battle today. This is where we won. We won in the trenches. They couldn't stop it. Like, Vic Fangio didn't have to blitz. He really didn't. He blitzed on a handful of occasions. But that's about it. Other than that, they kept that kid in check.
Mm-hmm. They contained Daniels and dared him to throw and let him run around in circles and tired his ass out. And that worked out well.
I mean, listen, again, we're over the moon excited right now. I can feel my blood pressure going through the roof for good reasons.
Sweating, bro.
Yeah, sweating. I'm ready to take the jersey off just because I'm hot. But there's no reason, hater or not, if you like the Eagles, but you're not a Jalen fan, or you like the Eagles and you're not a Nick Sirianni fan, whatever your reason behind it is, guys, in the long run, why do we watch 17 regular season games? Why do we watch these playoff games? Why do we spend our hard-earned money on jerseys, on going to the game, buying the best TV that money could buy to watch good games, spending your time covering it here? We all know this ain't your full-time job, right, Sal? So I mean, like,
bar right now, drinking.
Yeah, exactly. Like, my point is, put it away. It's not about being right.
Enjoy yourself.
You will talk. I was talking about this the other day with a friend. Like, what did you do during the Eagles Super Bowl parade, and like how old my kids were. It's I grew up in a time. Mike, Sal, we all grew up. Mike, you're a little older than us, but not by much. We grew up in a time where championships were a pipe dream for the most part. I mean, the Sixers won the first time when me and Sal were born, or the last time I should say. The Flyers haven't won since any of us were born. The Phillies, we had the 08 run, which was great. And then we've had, that time frame where 07, 08, 09, 10, and 11. And now recently in 22, 23, and 24. Now, only one of those years gave us a World Series, right? We finally got our first Super Bowl in 2017. So these don't happen often. There's no given tomorrow that I'll wake up and be able to see this.
Right.
You know what I mean? So forget your hate. Forget being right, because being right means jack when it comes down to it. Because nobody goes, hey, Sal, remember when you were right 20 years ago? No, they say, hey, Sal, remember when the Eagles won the Super Bowl 20 years ago? Yes. What were you doing then? Hey, Grandpa Sal, tell me about when the Eagles won. What was it like to watch Saquon Barkley run that ball?
I know.
Right? Do you think Uncle Matty B was okay with it with Howie Roseman? Do you ever think he made peace with him before he went to his grave with it? No, I mean, it's my point is, forget if you own an Excusaporium, or if you're a diehard Eagles fan and you see no wrong and you constantly wear your green colored glasses, or you're the opposite where you've been so hurt and you're so jaded from them that and I get that they've let us down more often than not, but these are the moments that you spend your time covering these games, watching the games, buying the stuff, all the money. Think about all the time you watch anything, all right? Football, baseball, add all that time up. Imagine what you could do with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing. So forget being right. Live in the moment, and let's go Birds, and let's win a Super Bowl.
Let's do it. Well said. Well said. By the way, just to throw the cherry on top for Jalen Hurts, he ties that other game manager, Hall of Fame game manager, Steve Young, for the most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback in playoff history. not too shabby for that game manager, Jalen Hurts, tying that Hall of Fame game manager, Steve Young.
Noob said it would have been the same results in Week 16, but Pickett came in. Just glad Washington fans can't say Dick. Yeah, I mean that's true. And it's funny. He brings up another thing: Eagles versus Wentz in the Super Bowl would be gold. Because, well, wait a minute. Wentz is he's he's KC, right?
He's the backup, so that means
yeah. He'll be the backup quarterback again in the Super Bowl, but this time he's not getting a ring out of the deal.
He'll complain.
I think that would be great if you really look at it. Wentz gets to a Super Bowl. Got to watch his backup win one. Then he gets back to the team that drafted him, and then they end their three-peat. Like
that would be great.
You know. Let me ask you guys a quick question. Zach Ertz is a free agent at the end of the year. Do you think about extending an olive branch and bringing him back?
I want Tyler Warren. Is that possible? If we don't get Tyler Warren, but
I want Tyler Warren too, but he ain't gonna get to where the Eagles are. So
he ain't gonna make it to 32, right?
If he's gonna take a league minimum and he's gonna be our number 2, I would.
Yeah, because Calcaterra, I don't know what
it would depend the physical to me. Kick the tires. I mean, he looks really good. Don't get me wrong, but that's a whole other year away.
Yeah,
that's, time for him to heal.
I'm just saying because he played his heart out.
No, would I be upset with Zach Ertz getting coming back to the Eagles for one more year as a second or third tight end option? No, I wouldn't. But again, I'd rather not waste the money or the spot on Zach Ertz either. So I'll be honest with you. Zach Ertz just left a bad taste in my mouth. I get it. It's gamesmanship and all that stuff.
Well, that was Nick Sirianni now. Nick Sirianni, we could say, is the asshole here because he's the one that you're talking about after the game where Sirianni said, "Oh, you didn't do nothing to help them win." And Ertz was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That was
stupid. That was
a
Nick
Sirianni was wrong there.
No, listen. He was the enemy until right now. He was the enemy till right now. That's all. He was the enemy till right now. Now I can go back to loving Zach Ertz, but I want to love. I also don't want to keep rehashing. Yeah, either.
Well, listen. I mean, the Eagles did him a solid because they knew they weren't going to be very good, and they traded him away. I don't think the dude ever would have left here. So now that you're better, why not bring him back? And that's the only reason why. And I could see if his production had fallen off, Al. I could see your stance on that. But looking at him now, man, like this dude, he was the only one that balled out for that Commanders team today. He was the only one. And he's been the only one over the last, month, really, besides, McLaurin. But that's it. So, I don't know. It's just something that I feel like if they could bring him back, I think it would help the Eagles. And like I said, he only signed a one-year deal there. So, he's a free agent to be. And like I said, I don't think it would cost him much money to come back here. To be honest with you,
I don't think I'd care either way. But Mike brings up a good point here, and it's something we'll worry about in the postseason, or after the season's over. But Elliott has to go. I mean, he's pretty good today, except for the one that was kind of long. But
was it his fault that he got set back on a sack that sent him back 9 yards?
So that's why I don't know. I mean, that has been a worry that if would he cost us a game somewhere? Well, so far he hasn't. I mean, the wild card game and actually that game against the Rams would have been different if he banged in those couple of points. But here we are.
I kind of want to re-sign Becton. Is it Becton going to command too much money at this point? We probably wouldn't re-sign him. That's a luxury to keep him, I would assume. But
I think they could re-sign Becton.
You think you would?
I think they could re-sign Becton. And Mike, I agree with you on the Lane Johnson thing. I was actually thinking they were going to do it this season, this last draft. But I think they're definitely going to start looking at the right tackle of the future.
Yeah, I mean, you shored up your defense. Now it's time this year's draft or draft coming up. You get offensive pieces to this team, right?
I'm thinking tight end. And I don't know why we're talking this, but we are. But
yeah,
I'm thinking tight end, right tackle. And
edge
probably
rusher,
probably some more edge or defensive line because you're probably going to lose Milton Williams, but that's not here nor there.
Yeah.
So, guys, what's your final takeaways from this game tonight?
The Eagles look unstoppable. I mean, is that, I didn't think I was.
I think it's on the screen. I think it's on the screen.
There we go.
Just drop the. I just think drop the is part.
Is he
Saquon? Yeah, Saquon is the
better than
best
McCoy?
Eagle.
I was debating that myself over the year.
I think he proved that.
Yeah.
I think without a shadow of a doubt. Even if he never came to the Eagles, he's a better running back than McCoy. Look how well he did with a crap Giants team on a crap turf. Now you give him a real team to play with, and he is just setting running back records like they're like the most attainable, easiest thing to set.
60,
you know what I mean? Like
60-yard runs, like nothing. Like go on.
And he's having fun. He's not a dildo about it. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that.
Like a really cool dude.
Yeah, like he puts the team first. You know, like I know, but I'm just saying, like he's that total package. You know what I mean? Like, Matty B's upset because we don't have a Patrick Mahomes, and who isn't? Everybody wants a Patrick Mahomes, but a Patrick Mahomes.
Nobody in the NFL has a Patrick Mahomes except Kansas City.
Right.
Yeah, if they grow on trees, Patrick Mahomes wouldn't be special. But we literally have a Patrick Mahomes in the running back position.
Yeah.
You have the best running back. And you tell me Derrick Henry all you want. And maybe 3 years ago, like you had 4 years ago, to this year, Saquon and him, maybe close. No.
Barkley's like 4 years younger than Henry, so you got that going for him. So
that's what I'm saying. You got to move back 3-4 years for it to like even up. But still, it is. You have a Patrick Mahomes, and you're running your best player available, and he's the safest bet for you. He doesn't turn the ball over very often. You don't have to put it in the hands
anytime.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about a weird tip or something going up the air and getting a pick, because half the time picks are just being in the right place at the right time. That's why I said about Reed Blankenship. He's just in the right place at the right time most of the time. He's not doing anything crazy. He's just being there, breaking up stuff, and being in the right place at the right time. But Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the NFL, and I find anybody to defy me in that question. So if he's the best running back in the NFL, he is probably the best running back the Eagles ever had. And listen, and that's saying a lot. Like you said, you had Shady McCoy, you had Brian Westbrook.
Wilbert Montgomery. He was probably pretty good, I heard. But
I was just hanging out with Wilbert and Westbrook 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they were telling me the same thing. They were telling me the same thing.
What's that? Saquon's the best.
Saquon's the best running back. Oh, my God, by far. Like, I mean, Wilbert was working with the Lions not too long ago. He was like a running back consultant for them. You know what I mean? Like, Brian Westbrook, one of the great, like LaShawn, one of the greats. And it was kind of terrible how they did him dirty. And maybe if he got to stay here a little longer, but you know what? He probably wouldn't have any Super Bowl rings when he won or anything. He got some rings and he was able to do it because he moved on. So it all did work out for the best for him. But it's hard to say because 1 year versus multiple years.
Sure. But it's one of the greatest years ever. Yeah.
He hit his total way before the end of the season. Like it was nothing.
Broke Dickerson's record. That would have happened.
By far, if he played, he would have broke Dickerson's record. He's going to set a record for the total, if he going to the Super Bowl, for the total like single season with the playoffs yards and all that
beating
stuff.
Terrell Davis, from back in Denver Broncos days. Yeah. Mike, what's your thoughts? Saquon the best Eagles running back ever?
He's up there. I'm not going to crown him the best yet. I'm a little older than you guys. I remember, some really good running backs in our past. You had Shady McCoy. Before him, you had Ricky Waters and Charlie Garner. A lot of people forget about Charlie Garner.
Yeah,
Charlie Garner was good back in our league. But I think he's got a little bit ways to go. Catching Wilbur. Wilbur's just being modest. It's only 1 year. With this, he's got a ways to go to catch Shady and Wilbur, I believe. I think they're 1 and 2.
Kaepernick says Wilbert Montgomery was really, really good. That's what I heard.
No, Wilbur was one of. Listen, they're also. I think Mike's being right. They were also being polite a lot.
Sure.
But the thing is if he never plays a lick of football again for the Eagles, he's holds the records, and it's going to be a long damn time before anybody comes close to doing what he did for the Eagles at the very least.
I mean, you know, he had a great season series, record. You know, he's got to do it over the long haul here. I think he's got to be
We
here
only
at
got him
least
for
4
2 more
years.
years now. That's the thing. We might run
Yeah,
him
that's what I'm saying.
this year, and that's fine.
For me, he's got to be here another couple of years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he's here a couple more years, then yeah, I would totally agree with you guys with him, you know, becoming the best. No, I think he can be. Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, I've watched Saquon Barkley since he came into Penn State, and the kid is amazing. And I just truly believe that he can become the greatest Eagle of all time. But
I don't think he's going to run for 2,000 yards again next year. I mean, I could flat out probably bet that now and win. About 1,500 yards? I mean, he could probably do that. Sleepwalking.
I mean, hey, look, you don't know, man. You don't know. Like, you don't know how sure up this offensive line can be.
Right.
You know, I don't think it's out of the realm that he can. You got to remember, dude, he was putting up, you know, like over 1,000 yards, 1,300 yards behind that Giants offensive line.
I know.
So, I mean, you saw what he did with a healthy offensive line this year. And if they all come back healthy again next year, you know, anything's possible.
Mm-hmm.
But, guys.
Hold on 1 second. So here's the thing is, he played from 2009 to 2014. He had 4,000+ yard seasons in those 6 years. And all of them were at least 1,300 yards. I'm sorry, no. One of them was only over 1,000.
Right.
But he had
he
1,300 yards.
Like crazy.
Yeah, in 2013.
Shady, right?
Yeah, in 2013 is when he had 1,600 yards. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you were looking at the total career Shady put up, this is at 4 years at Buffalo, a year at KC, and a year at Tampa. You know, he had 11,000 total yards. Hold on 1 second. I want to see what Saquon right now is at overall. I'll tell you right now. Sorry, being slow to load. So Saquon Barkley career stats.
Get that lotion out. Wow.
Yeah, right. I had to
That's
switch
what happened. His hand slipped on the keyboard.
I had to grab the other one. I had the wrong site up. All right, so his total career right now. So Saquon has only played for, let's see how many years. He was what? Drafted in
2015.
This is like his 7th or 8th year, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he has a total of 7,200 yards.
Mm.
So,
okay.
You know, that's so 2018, 2019, 2020. So this is his 7th year right now he's in with 7,200 yards. You know, so Shady was
72,000.
No,
yeah,
7,200.
Right. 72,000.
That's what it feels like, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, right.
That was Shady's career here and in Buffalo, and he didn't have that. So if he stays healthy, 11,000 yards is going to be nothing for him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, I love the
guy.
Well,
he's got 2 to start off.
Yeah, 2,000. Yeah, 2,000.
Yeah, I mean,
and we can I count the playoff yards. Screw everybody.
No, that's career. I looked at career, and that's.
Yeah,
and listen, here's the other thing: is LeSean was in a lot more playoff games, probably. I mean, this is what his second playoff game, second playoff appearance.
Yeah, he went one time with the Giants, I believe. They were in one.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, when we played him in 2022 and just shellacked the crap out of him. I was there. It was a shellacking.
Yeah.
All right,
we had a.
I'm ready to go drink some more, so let's do this.
Go wrap this up. All right, guys. Well, everybody.
Would you say it's a wrap? Would you say it's a wrap?
It's a wrap on It's a Wrap.
For the Washington Commanders.
That's for the Washington Commanders.
Stay tuned for Matty B's. He's handing out flowers today. It's going to start with me.
Gravestone flowers for the Commanders. But yeah.
I can't wait to hear how he spins this yarn. Let's go.
All right, guys. I love having you on anytime. In 2 weeks, hopefully we're all going to be on for the Super Bowl. We might have Matty B on. We might have everybody on. Who knows? We're going to see. Got a feeling it's going to be action-packed, guest-packed, and all
Probably
that.
Probably more pregame than postgame, but we'll find out.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. If the Eagles win the Super Bowl, it'll be Al running naked down McDade Boulevard.
There you go. My one buddy's like,
I'm going to be the new
bar.
spokesperson. I'm going to be the new spokesperson for Jergens by the end of that.
Jergens. What was it? What was the other things you were selling? Tampons or dildos? Weren't you selling something?
Tampons, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tampons. Okay.
I'll sell out. All
right, guys. Everybody, I appreciate everybody listening in. For Mike Lauro, for Al Zafiri, I'm Sal Jafrida. Everybody, give us a like, share, and subscribe on the Birds Flyby here on It's a Wrap Network. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks for the Super Bowl. Let's go, baby. I'm always missing my mark. All right, guys. Peace.